Okay, welcome back. The Clockwork Resett, episode 2, featuring Manky, Danny Clockwork and the Mac.
But people know you as Manky, though. A lot of people don't. Manky's like a pet name.
Only my nearest and dearest.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just referring to Clockwork.
Yeah, but Manky, I mean, look, probably not
Yeah, Manky's like a friend's
punters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no one really calls me Manky apart from, like, you lot.
I don't call him Manky. I never call him Manky.
Mangoonish.
I got Mangoonish on my phone.
Yeah.
Mangoonish.
Or Mangoosas, Alex P.
Welcome, Andy.
Andrew, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in this episode...
So Andrew's your mum.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we're going to dive into more things that we can relate strongly to. And today is about addictions. And we look at the definition of addictions and what is an addiction. It's any type of behaviour that gives you temporary relief, that moves you towards pleasure away from pain, that has long-term negative consequences, that impacts you on a mental and health perspective, impacts your family, your friends, relationships, money, work, and so on. And we find it very hard to stop. And when we dive into the word addict and what it means, it's Latin addictus, which means slave, which means that we are enslaved to something for some reason. And
Addictus is slave, yeah?
Addictus means slave.
Like it.
And you heard me say...
Let me interrupt. What was that thing you said earlier on that I liked?
I forgot. Come on.
Hey, come on, listen. Who's this geezer? Where did you get him from? Fucking hell.
That's why we record it.
I know, yeah.
You can watch it back in a bit,
Yeah, no, I
mate.
won't watch it back. I'll be cringing.
But when I said about what are addictions, it's any type of behaviour. It's not any type of substance, because we talk about drinking and smoking and drugs, but it's also all the behaviours, the shopping, the porn, the gambling,
Music.
the sex, the phone, the screen addiction, right?
The Ben & Jerry's.
The Ben and Jerry's, the sugar, the junk food. And then we look at the reflection of our society and the world we live in. We look at our high street and we look at everything that's down there, right? So we look at coffee shops for caffeine, sweet shops for sugar, off licenses for alcohol, vaping shops for cigarettes and vaping and snus. The bookies has got the gambling, phone shops for screen time. We're just littered with addictions all around us, right?
Street's a shit,
Yeah,
aren't they?
but then we've also got the pawn shop, right? The pawn shop's there to sell whatever you've got to feed your addiction. So we're in and around it all the time. And like I go to the gym in the mornings, and it's really interesting in the mornings where I'm just about to go through the door and there'll be some guy outside and he thinks he's as fit as shit in the gym, but he's outside with a cup of coffee and he's got a fag, and I'm just seeing it all around us. So for me, it's about thinking about addictions, how addictions have affected your life, what was the beginning, what was the first thing you was addicted to, and how did it affect your life, and when did you start to notice?
You first noticed.
Well, I think we would go back to what we said earlier, food for me, probably, because my thing was probably that's a comfort thing, isn't it? Eating to make yourself feel better. So that was really my earliest.
What was your go-to for that comfort?
Biscuits, I reckon.
You, as you used to say, like I remember a girlfriend's dad who used to go, "You ain't hungry, Michelle." He used to go, "You're bored." You went, "You're bored."
Yeah,
That's why you fucking go
biscuits.
to the cupboard. You're bored.
Well, it's emotional
Chocolate.
nourishment, right?
Yeah.
It's not because you're hungry. It doesn't make logical sense to eat a packet of biscuits at 10 o'clock. There's an emotional nourishment. And for some people, when I work with my clients, for example, if they talk about biscuits, and it's like 45-year-old woman has a packet of biscuits at 10 o'clock at night, it doesn't make logical sense.
I ain't gonna lie, I used to love a hobnob dipped
but
in a cup of tea.
But we go back to a time and a place where biscuits were significant to them. They say, I was bullied at school, I really struggled in my childhood. And I go to my nan's house and she get the biscuit tin out. And all of a sudden, she associates biscuits to love and comfort, to move away from boredom and feeling unvalidated or insignificant or unwanted. And all of a sudden, now it makes sense. Because for me, when I work with addictions, there's always a reason why you do the things you do. There's always some story you're telling yourself as to why you need something. So for me, and it may not be drugs or drink for your first addiction. My first addiction was gambling from a very young age, and I can go into that if you want. But for you, what would you say your first addiction was?
I don't know. Could it be attention? Wanting attention. I know that was like what got me in trouble at school all the time. Miss. And when they wouldn't give it to you because you was lacking it at home. That's the one thing that I found out like recently looking into. Because you wanted it from your mum. Mum was always drunk. Mum was an alcoholic. If mum was working, she wasn't there. 6, 7, 8, being left on your own until she comes home. And then in the winter when it was dark, and what you were saying outside, about the 50p metre, that going off. So you're in a flat, no carpets, no TV, to sort of like give you some form of comfort. Standing in the pitch black with no fucking food thinking, where's your mum coming from? So it was a tension.
But if you're like me, I crave attention, or I used to crave attention in the only way I could get it. Negative, positive, doesn't matter.
No, not now.
Well, no, then, but I'm saying it's like I would do things, and I know I'm not going to get probably the response I really want, but I will get a response, albeit negative, and that was a big problem for me.
I wanted it, even in high school. Like if I was going to do it, like miss, can you check me? But I was taking up all their time. There's 30 kids. Rather than thinking I'm going to get something wrong, I kept checking. It was like just too much for him, just incessant. You know what I mean? So it was probably because it was lacked was attention.
And with that attention, what were you looking for? Because
it's comfort,
it's really interesting, right?
It's comfort.
Andy and I diagnosed with ADHD, but the way you talk about your life and things, and AD is attention deficit of attention, so we seek it. So maybe the jury's out for whether or not you have ADHD.
I don't care though.
I know it's just a label, right? When you label yourself, you limit yourself.
Yeah,
but
I'll tell you what I've learned with it, and if you allow me to say this, I think it's a superpower.
Yeah. When you learn how to nurture it and understand your brain.
Because I'd run big jobs.
Yeah.
Big, massive projects.
Multitasking.
33 stores, 600. Everyone was like, what's going on? I was like, it weren't a piece of piss. It's just that my brain worked in a different way. Oh, but we ain't done this yet, but you can do this. And I could just work it all out. So I've never looked at it. I'd be interested. I mean, the reports, you think like 83, 84. Jan McCall was her name, the lady who was my psychologist at school. Lovely lady. Used to make me play these card games to like work you out and trying to get an understanding. I'd love to know what them reports actually said. Do you know what I mean?
You can get them back.
Can you?
Yeah, because there's a freedom of information. So I was under social services and I found out that I was going to see a psychiatrist at 3 and 4 years old because of my behaviours.
Really?
Even from such a young age. Yeah, so you can find it if they still exist.
That's what I mean, if it exists.
I've got all the they give you all the photocopies of all from the social services to the council to the court papers. I was in court as a juvenile, so you get everything. And then you start to get a background, that's when I found out my dad was addicted to morphine in the hospital. That's when I found out how bad.
There you go, inherent.
Yeah. But then we go back to, my mum's behaviours where she kind of blamed it all on my dad, saying he was the problem. But then you start to read and you see the neglect, the abuse and so on. So it starts to create this kind of understanding, but I read it with compassion and love and forgiveness, because I understand that for someone to behave in such a way, they can't cope themselves. They're really struggling.
I had to forgive my mum only recently. I blamed her and blamed her and blamed her. And I tell this story all the time. My mum got sober in 84. My brother was born in 86. So when she was 84, I was 12, 13 when she got sober. And then when I got sober in 2003, fucking hell, I've forgotten, 2003. And say like a year later, I made my amends, whatever. And this is how still fucking crafty my mother was. I made her my amends and she went, yeah. Now I don't remember ever doing it to me. Do you know what I mean? If she had an understanding of what I was like and how it damaged me. Anyway, she went, she still had her craftiness back. She went, made your amends. She went, be a shame if I couldn't get the front all made nice. Like a little driveway and a raised bed and some trees and stepping stones. I can people play. I went, yeah, all right, no worries. I can kill myself doing it. Got bees from what course money in. When she come out at the end of it, she went, sun was shining. She went, it looks amazing. She went, be a shame if you couldn't do the back as well. That's how fucking crafty my mother was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how crafty she was.
Wanting more.
Yeah.
Never happy.
And I went, all right, no worries. When I done the back garden, double slip disc. Don't pick that up. Oh, fucking pick it up. Honestly, I can hear it now. That's how my back went. I was like, for 6 weeks.
She didn't ask for a roof extension then?
You what?
She didn't ask for a roof extension afterwards?
No. Me and my mum were very similar in our personalities. We clashed. And I remember once saying to her something about, in my early sobriety, she goes, what is it? She goes, over the years, the amount of people that used to come to my mum's house and sit there and like be asked her things. And all that. I never actually listened to her. And she could do healing as well. And she goes, out of all these fucking people that I can help, she went, you're the only one who doesn't ask for any advice. I went, do you know why? She went, why? I went, because I fucking know it all. And I just walked out. And she was like, oh, do you know what I mean? We used to get on each other's nerves. Only twice we nearly had a fight. I pushed her away because she was driving me mad. Over dramatic. I fell on the bed. But yeah, she's locked me out and fucking figured me out and God knows what. So
that behaviour you're talking about is when we have attention-seeking behaviour, sometimes we're seeking positive feedback. We want to give them something for them to be proud of and give us something back and to feel loved and adored. But if we don't get that, we start to do things to piss them off, to provoke them, because negative attention is just as stimulating to us as the positive stuff.
That's why I love school.
We just get something, right? We don't like being told what to do. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to be a rebel.
That's it.
And cause attention, stimulation.
Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still struggle with being told what to do now. I really do. It's like, and it's not even being told what to do. It's like, put something away or do whatever. Sorry, Jade.
It's how you're being told, right?
No, she's not like, it's just, there's something in me that I just don't like being told what to do. I'll do it my way, or, you know, and that's just, it's just still there. Better than I used to be, though.
Fair play, though. There was a guy outside, there's this guy walking around an iFi. Nowadays, everyone who's got an iFi thinks they're fucking, do you know what I mean? And this guy's walked along and he's looked, he says, hello, and he went, it works for the council, just outside. Walked in his first shop, and I didn't pay no attention to it. He's come round, you know, they have little sandwich boards on the street.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah. He went, yeah, you can't have that now. He went, what? He went, it's private property. He went, still can't have it. And I see the geezer in his head was thinking, the one who's getting up. I was like, that was me. And I wanted to go over there and say to him, who the fuck do you think you are, mate? Go away. You're a fucking nose. So it's the same thing.
Let it go.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. But people piss us off back in the day and we'd throw things through the window. Do you know what I mean? That's how it was.
God.
In petrol garages, 4 o'clock in the morning, geezer go, go on, fuck off. Go, yeah, all right. Get a paving slab, bosh, cup a load of them apples before cameras.
Yeah.
Before cameras. Well, we've all done it. Well, we ain't all done it. Most people ain't done it, but it's that thing. Don't tell me what to do in school. You've got to do this. You've got to thingy for your exams. Blah blah blah. Oh fucking hell. Straight away. No, I ain't.
Yeah.
No,
To revise, to sit.
That's why I want to do a 3-day bike
nothing.
test. That will go on for the rest of my life, and I can drive any bike I want. Because I can't stand fucking exams. Can't stand it. I'd probably love it.
Yeah. What was your first addiction?
I've done it. Food.
Sugar. Yeah,
What?
but in terms of
What about mixing music?
No, before that. Yeah, I mean, sweet, sugar.
so beyond childhood, we're going to like the late teens, mid-teens. Where did you go into?
Booze. Got to be booze, isn't it?
Probably, well, I mean, music was a massive thing for me. I'd almost call it an addiction, really. But
When was the transition from being like in the club scene to then music scene DJing? Because there's a transition because all of a sudden you
as
spend
in
all
when
the
did
time
I
going
get
to like
into
black market
it?
records and
Well, so I was into music, albeit playing my guitar, of course, because I'm brilliant at it. And I mean, I was into music from probably. I've been into music all my life. I've always loved music. My dad was a massive part of that because he used to basically play as long as I can remember, albums like, you know, Pink Floyd, ELO, anything. Like, I mean, I did a thing on this radio show about my favourite disco track. I remember Donna Summer. I remember my dad bringing a copy of that on vinyl. And having it on the deck, and I was literally, I remember that, I can still remember it, 7 years old. So for me, music was always in my life from ever. That was the one thing that I've got, you know, like retention. I can do that for hours and hours and hours. I can I did play guitar for a long time when I was a kid, and I could sit and do that for hours without getting bored. I could sit and listen to music for hours. And then when I got into like music, like as in mixing, again, I'd be in my bedroom, I'd have my deck set up, and I would literally get home from work and I would be on them decks from 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock until midnight when I went to bed. Every night, every single night, and I never got bored of doing it.
Banging it out and all in his mum and dad's house.
Yeah, I know. But then
No headphones.
when it got into like, I wouldn't even say professional, like doing it at a club was probably not until, right, so Clockwork started in 93. So about 90, I got an opportunity to go on a pirate radio station. So I started doing some DJ slots, But then what I was doing, I was working with Tony Chaplin.
MPH.
The Atomic Crew.
Yeah.
So we started this act called the Atomic Crew.
Chaplin
really cool,
Jig.
man. And even had a nuclear sign as our logo. It was proper cool. And then we started getting a few little gigs. And I remember I used to have to go and DJ at this place called Wonderland. It was in by the Walthamstow. What was the ice rink? Lee Bridge Road.
Right, yeah.
Right next door to that. And the deal was I'd go and do the warm up. And then I have to go and give out flyers at Berwick Manor till about 6 o'clock in the morning. And it was kind of like that. And then it was just a gradual, like, doing a few gigs, but just the music and the want for doing it was there. It never went away, ever. And I mean, even like when Clockwork started and all them years of doing it and like DJing all over the world and doing all these amazing places and gigs, even when Clockwork started subsiding, and, you know, I went from playing... there was a period, late 90s, I was DJing all over the world. And I was like on the agency with Tall Paul. And so I was doing a lot of gigs with him and we were going everywhere. You name it, we went there. And even when that all kind of subsided and after all of a sudden I went from doing all these gigs to not really doing much weekends, still was into my mixing and my music and it never stopped. It never stopped.
Would you say it became an obsession?
It is an obsession, but it's I wouldn't say it's an obsession. It's just something I really enjoy doing, and that's the thing. It's not like I've got to do it, but I just love music. I love everything about it, and it soothes me. I suppose I don't know.
And what's the difference between playing at home, messing around with the decks,
Nothing,
and performing live?
nothing. Get as much buzz out of it. It's like you came to watch me at the radio show one week. And you watched me and you said to me, when you're in that, you're in your bubble, you're in your happy place. And I agree. It doesn't matter where I do it, who it's in front of. So I did a pub the other week for someone's birthday. Now, it was me and Owen and there was probably 50, 60 people in there. And they're all going to me like, oh, does this not bore you? I like doing this. You're playing clubs for 3,000 people last weekend and stuff like that. And I'm like, do you know what? I don't care how many people are here, as long as I'm doing what I'm doing and everyone's having a good time, it doesn't bother me. And even me, I mean, like one thing I will say, when I'm in a bad mood, music always brings me out of it. It's really weird. Like all I've got to do is I've got to put some tunes on or do something. Like I might have had a real shitty day and something really bad's happened or whatever, but put some music on.
Switch gears.
Goes away. So for me, playing music, listening to music, doesn't matter if I'm in front of 10,000 people or 5 people in my summer house, just having a little after party or whatever. Doesn't bother me. Still enjoy it as much.
And through those years, was there any smoking and drinking or drugs as a problem?
Well, believe it or not, these are mad things I smoke now, and I've only started smoking probably 7 years ago. And I remember we was in Ibiza and he was smoking at the time. I went, let's have one of him. He went to me, get your kid. I went,
No, it weren't that. It was either camping or whatever. And because I used to smoke as well, but now I smoke vapes, and it was spicy food.
No, my smoking started from...
one of them after that.
I'll tell you exactly how my smoking started. It started from basically being off your nut at clubs and having a fag for some fucking reason, God knows why, but you just think, I'll have a fag. It started like that. And I used to... my kids... It befuddles them that I smoke because they said, Dad, you used to hate smoking. You used to say to us, if you ever come home and smell of smoke, I'll kick you out. And I did. I hated it. And I remember him saying to me, and then I remember like, when I was doing site management, and I remember I had a right mad shitty day one day, and I just was like, right, that's it. I said to Gaze, give me a fag, and then it's just a gradual process really. But what was the question you asked me about back in the...
So we spoke about any other addictions were becoming a problem, like smoking, drinking or drugs.
I mean, drinking, I wouldn't say drinking was a problem. My problem was, it was drink, but I never realised at the time. So with what I've gone through, and this is for, I mean, since the good days or the bad days or the good days, whatever you want to call it. But from me, I think from 2000, probably after Clockwork stopped, from 2003, 4, 5 onwards, was when I started crossing that line of there's that line I think that you go down when you're in the middle of it or you're on one side, but when you start crossing over and you're starting to get into that sniffing on your own, secretly doing it, all the sort of shit that comes with like once you're kind of past that point. And that for me is when things really started to take a change for the worse. But what I said to you, I think drink was basically my main problem, because I would never sit there and go, oh yeah, let's put the Arsenal on or whatever. Right. Oh, I fancy a line of gear. But put 3 or 4 pints in me and it's a totally different story. And that was the problem. Once you start getting a bit inebriated, then your
inhibitions are down.
That's it.
Tea and biscuits.
And then the problem I had was
tea and biscuits. Mine
was drink, like gear, more drink, more gear, more drink, and that was the pattern. And like I said to you earlier, I was the world's worst for wanting to go to bed. I would not want to go. I just never want the party to end. And literally, everybody would be like fading away at like 5, 6 in the morning. I'm still like raring to go. And then in the end, I'll probably end up being on my own. I mean, like I say, when I was living in Wanstead, like before me and Joe split up, I would literally be lying in. I'd go to bed. I'll try to go to bed, and I'd be like, "Oh God!" I remember getting up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, going down to Weatherspoons, and then there'd be a couple of like records in there that are still up, and end up sitting in there all day and stuff like that. I just wanted to. I just didn't want to stop. And it weren't like I was like bang on it, like, yeah, come on all day long. But I just wanted to just carry on. And that was the kind of the pattern really. And it just got gradually worse and worse. And the big change for me, there was 2 things that really changed the whole thing for me. Lockdown. And obviously that didn't help. And then when I moved into a place on my own, that was it then, because I had free rein to do what I wanted. And that was when it got really out of hand,
Sprinkle in some OCD.
Just do what I want when I want. And that was a problem. And then just complete, like deceitful lying about everything, like, have you done this? No, And it went from there, really. But I still carried on doing it. That's the bad thing. I mean, me and Danny have had conversations that I wouldn't like to even tell you the amount of times I've rung him up and basically said, I can't do this no more. And he said something to me once, I'll never forget it. Turned around to me once and he went to me, you will know when the time is right. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He said, you'll know. And I was like, yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, I probably said, yeah, and I remember you used to laugh at me, didn't you? Because I remember I'd be stopped
on a Monday.
No, not even. I said I'd said, right, I'm stopping, and I've done this probably 10 times. Said I'm stopping, and then I remember once I was in Clockwork. He's walked in the green room and he just looked at me and he could sell a mile off. He's got this, hey, like that, and I was like, oh no, fucking hell. And he was right.
What I loved about him, though, doing it, like, his world was his world and him doing it, but what I loved about it, it's still being amongst the people, or the amount of people have said to me over the years, fucking stay at Manky.
You'd say that.
He still, hold on, but he said he still fucking DJs, like, and pulls it off and still rocks it.
Yeah, but that's something with locking in, I don't know, there's something that I can lock
automatic, right?
I can lock into music.
But not my other people, fucking hell.
Like, people were like, how the fuck can you mix like that, like as tight as you are with the state you're in? And I'm like, I don't know. But and that was the thing. And then he said to me, and he was right, because I woke up that New Year's Day after what had happened with Jade, and we'd had a really, like, I wouldn't say we had a shit Christmas, we had a good one, but I ruined it by basically playing up and doing all the stupid things that I do, looking for attention probably by doing all the wrong things. And I literally woke up
in pain.
And I sat in the front room and I just sat there and I was like, I can't do this shit no more. Like, I'm ready, you know what I mean? It's finally, and the problem is with addiction, right? This is the thing that I spent so many years promising the earth to everybody, all my loved ones, and it's always really just to appease what you've done, to get out of what you've done. And until you actually want to take responsibility for it and sort it, it's never going to make any difference. And I don't think no matter what anyone like Joe, what we went through, there's nothing she could have done to change what the outcome was going to be. It was only, and Jade as well, Jade basically worked her bollocks off when we were together because we had our ups and downs, and I was like getting on it and deceit and lying and, letting her down. I mean, I remember once we had to go to she booked this lovely spa and she paid all this money for it. Anyway, I've decided to get bang on it the night before. I didn't have no sleep. And I look back now and I think, what an absolute piss take. You basically, and I got to this spa. Now she's paid like a lot of money. We had a hot tub, all this. Anyway, I fell asleep around the pool for about 4 hours. Left her on her own.
Did you want to go to the spa?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Probably at the time, I probably thought, oh God, no. Yeah. But I mean, basically, she's sitting on her own, and I'm asleep around the pool, and you think that's all acceptable at the time. You think it's all the norm.
All you need is sleep.
But look, sometimes for me, I zoom out and look at behaviours, and why is Andy behaving like that before maybe doing something the next day, right? Sometimes, whether we know it or not, we kind of sabotage. It's like non-verbal communication. I'm going to pull the pin out, throw the grenade in, just blow it up, so I can just
story my life.
Yeah. Avoidance.
Do the wrong thing. Yeah, avoidance. All the things that come with addiction. Like deflecting that the way I used to feel, like the loathing and the guilt of all what I'd done. Because let's face it, I didn't really want to do it, and I've not wanted to do it for a long time, but I still did it. I still did it, and I continued to do it. And then you lash out. And then you lash out in any way, shape or form to get. And I remember with Jade, I'd be like, I just probably want to say, tell me you love me, but I will say something to get a reaction out of her. Now, whatever I probably said to her, I'm not going to get, but don't worry about it, babe, I love you. She's going to be, you fucking what? And that was the life. And it was the continual, the nights were, they won't say they were great because I'm like peeking out the windows with walking around with like my pants with a fucking carving knife and like, you know what I mean? But
you never know who's out there though, dear.
No, you don't. Helicopters are big.
You never know who's out there, mate.
I was telling this story. So I used to sit in when I had my place on my own. Anyway, I used to get so twanged up, right? I literally sat there and I'd sit on the sofa and I'd have the TV on one. And it sounds like I've got a bionic ear, right? Anyway, so I'm listening to the TV with one ear, and the other ear I'm sitting there and I'm listening for noises in the house. And essentially like the radio would go, get up. Oh, mate. And
it's madness,
it's just absolute madness. When you get to that point and one night I got so paranoid, I got in the car and I drove around the fucking block for about 2 hours. And I was driving past the house, looking in the window, because I thought someone was in the house, and then driving off again. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense at the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course.
It all makes sense.
It was mad. I mean, you get to that point of paranoia, schizophrenic. What's it called when you see and hear things that are not there?
Psychosis.
And that's how bad it got. You know, I was on my own, and again, like addiction, you just don't care. At that point in time, you don't care about anything apart from that. Like, I mean, your loved ones, the ramifications of what's going to happen if you carry on doing what you're doing. I know. And that's the thing that's so sad about it because, maybe I'd be like, I've got to take my son, like, he was an academy footballer, like, Perth Orient, and I might have a game with him the next day. And I'm like, I know I've got the game. I know I've got to drive him to Peterborough. And at that point, you're like, right, go to bed, get your nut down. You've got to get up and drive your son. Like, you're not going to drive anyway, but you won't. You do that, you'll get a bit more, and you'll do it again. And then the next day, you'll let him down, and you'll ring up and make out you've got a stomachache. And that was basically the whole life that I led. It was just constant letting down of people, my friends, my family, my mum, my missus. And I know I'm not a bad person. I never have been. You just make such bad decisions.
Bad choices.
All the time.
But they made sense at the time, based on your circumstances.
At that time, it's great, isn't it?
Danny, so for you with addictions, where did you go to in that journey of drinking, smoking, drugs?
Never wanted to smoke. My mum smoked. I swore I weren't going to smoke. After I drunk when I was 8, I weren't going to drink. And then like school parties. I weren't one of those kids over the park who was smoking and drinking. Weren't one of them kids. And I don't know, I was thinking about it when you was talking about it earlier on. I think mine was, it's that thing about proving yourself, isn't it? It's a bit like working. It's like that. So people will hold you in higher esteem because you had lower self-esteem as a kid about what you had. So I had I used to work before school in a butcher's, after school in a butcher's, then in the greengrocers. Then I go and work in the Indian shop in Clayle. Then I go and work all day Saturday and the greengrocers and the Indian shop again. And then Sunday, I had my nan's old fucking trolley that she used to take round the shops with my mum's vacuum cleaner, buckets on it, and go around cleaning cars. So I was trying to thingy.
So it was work and addiction for you as well then?
Well, it was like a workaholic. So it was
desire for money.
That's something that was always it. But how that petered out and came to an end and how my life has changed after that, after this, what I'm about to say, is someone wanted their money back when we got to lockdown. They said, can you sort my money out for a clock stock or for our beef or something? I went, no problem, we'll sort that out, we'll get that done. How are you, blah, blah, blah. And I went, yeah. And she went, like we was talking about it, and she went, do you know what your problem is? What's that? She went, you went from being an alcoholic to a workaholic. So the 4 or whatever jobs it was then, when 2020, I had 6 landscaping projects, 6 maintenance landscape projects, running big project in London myself personally. I was travelling to every day. Doing clockwork, clock stock, DJing at the weekend. Just wrote a fucking book. Family life. I used to say in family life. I'm busy, getting in at 9 o'clock at night, doing the invoices for things. And it just dawned on me. I just went, oh my God. And we said this when we spoke on the phone originally, us three. I was like, COVID saved my life. If COVID wouldn't have come along, I'd have kept fucking pushing, until physically, emotionally, I'd have destroyed. I was broken anyway. Just on that cusp where I could just sort it all out.
So it's funny though, isn't it? That it saved your life, but it kind of was the start of my downfall.
Yeah,
but then again, it's almost like the beginning of you at the beginning of the end.
Like I was living with my mate AJ because I'd not long split up from Joe, and we basically I moved in with him, and then we just got locked down together. Well, I think my diet consisted of gear, pizza and wine. Literally that
Richard Harris.
Well, that was it. It was just boredom and just it just got out of hand. And it might not have been, I wasn't taking drugs every night, but drinking, 100% drinking wine. I mean, do you remember when I was doing the Clocky Lives? Done one, I was absolutely plastered drunk, falling about.
I couldn't watch them.
And it was just cringe. I mean, I wouldn't even want to watch it now, but Julian, who's my brother, he rang me out, he went, you fucking, pissed angry with me. He goes, what are you doing? You look fucking terrible. Yeah, it'd be all right. It's funny, everyone loved it. And that was...
Look, I can relate to your story about working and that motivation and drive, and because we've got similar backgrounds and that kind of poverty, we're trying to move away from the past. We don't want to struggle and suffer, and we are driven, I call it toxic fuel. We want to work and we want to be seen as being significant and being accepted and being the same as other people. And by working hard and having money, and we buy some nice clothes, drive a nice car, it's like, look at me, I'm just like you. And that goes down to one of the core limited beliefs with addictions is we don't believe we're good enough. We don't believe we're worthy. There's something wrong with me. And so we are constantly working hard and trying to prove to the world all the time how good we are, how hard we work, how successful we are, because we want the significance, we want the validation, we want to feel loved and accepted. And there's a consequence to that. And as you know, there's burnout to that as well, right? So when you're working too hard, the wheels will come off because the balance of looking after work, money, family, relationships, and so on, something's been sacrificed, but you're so driven by the work and whether it's the money or the prestige of it or success, whatever it's going to be, there's something driving you from behind, because it's not like you're moving towards something, the desire, that you're trying to move away from something. You don't want to suffer or feel that kind of, we carry a lot of embarrassment, guilt, blame and shame, right? So we know about what things we've done in the past or how it made us feel. We want to move away from that. And sometimes that kind of burns us out in many different ways. And sometimes we show up in different behaviours, and that could be anger, rage, depression, anxiety, but it also can be the coping strategies. We're using the weeds to switch the brain off. We're trying to get the cope to escape. We're trying to drink to relax or whatever. But we're always doing something for a reason. because there is something underlying that's bubbling which we're trying to pacify.
Get that.
So when we talk about, so that's work. In terms of when did drinking or drugs become a problem for you?
It just became the norm from about 14, 15. And we're at 1986 going to Hollywoods on a Tuesday night when I was still at school, using my school tie as a tie to get in. And it was Sharon and Tracy then, it was no house music. All the girls were in perms.
Yeah.
And I just had about enough money to get home on the bus. And they're all like drinking pints and all that. And I'm standing with the older lot. I'm trying to make this pint last for hours. Do you know what I mean? Totally out of my comfort zone.
But you still wanted to be there.
Not really. I think you did it because you thought you had to. Do you know what I mean? Or
That's
like,
what I mean.
Yeah, the fear of missing out.
You want to feel like you're part of the tribe, right?
Yeah, with the older lot, because they played football and that was part of like my mates, my best mates' brothers' lot, and we were hanging around with them. But then started drinking with them, like pizzazz on a Tuesday night, going to pizzazz and stuff like that, and getting drunk again, still at school, and like hangovers and stuff. So from 14 to 16, yeah, like, you know, it'll be fun. Like, let's race, let's drink half a bottle of whiskey, and then ride my bike home, then walk 3 miles to get my bike after half a bottle of whiskey in one. And then get my bike. I rode my bike home. I hit this pillar, went over the handlebars on this grass, shook me up. And in the middle of the dual carriageway in Little Heath in Chabberleaf, I stopped, and all the traffic stopped. I just went, 14, 16. Actually, whiskey, I couldn't drink whiskey for years. But it just got more and more. But, as what we were saying earlier on, you drunk to the capacity of your earnings. When... Before that, you know, it was like, oh, I might have an acid, or I might take 1 or 2 like pills, or drinking beers or whatever. When we started earning, it went champagne, this, ounces, half ounces, bag of pills. Do you know what I mean? It got more and more and more. So between 16 and 18, and then in 1990, we started going to this club every week, and it was just drinking. We didn't really get on it then. We didn't really get on it. It was Clockwork, really. It was when Clockwork came along, that's when it went up. Before that, I was just messing about, and then just went up like that. Because we went to Ibiza for the summer. You know, every night from 95 was a party. Money Mission on a Monday, Money Pennies on a Tuesday, Clockwork on a Wednesday. Cream we didn't go to because we were still going from the Wednesday. Friday was ministry. You never went out on a Saturday. Fucking Saturdays were shit.
That's why Sunday as
That's
well.
why Silly Bollocks here fucking decided to change our night to a Saturday. He couldn't defy it. And then Sunday was the day that you all went to space. So that's how I lived our lives. So it was like, you know, partying 5, 6, 7 days a week. I think I was sober 3 times in Ibiza in the 19 years we did it.
When do you think that when did you first recognise that you had a problem?
Never.
You never once thought?
Never. Just thought I was a lunatic. And I love being a lunatic.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, I agree with that. I thought I'm just crazy. But sometimes I thought I've got a problem.
Nah.
But I forgot about it by the time we got back to the Thursday and just the weekend rolled in again.
Yeah, never. Never thought I had a problem. The only time that anyone ever said to me, people said to me, you're mad, you've done this, you do that, blah, blah, blah. You're a nice guy, but you're an arsehole when you drink or whatever. I just go, yeah, whatever, fuck off. And then, like Tourette's, yeah, fuck off. And then at the end, my flat, the geezer who lived in a flat, Welsh guy, Flumpy, I think it was a Monday night, and I had like 2, 3 bottles of wine and like whatever, and like all these joints and different ashtrays and all that. And he come in, he says that, and he went, "You're fucking alcoholic, kid." That's the first time I ever heard it. And it was 6 to 8 months, or 6 months after that, 8 months.
How do you feel about it when he said that to you?
Oh, I was like, how fucking dare you? But I was pissed out of my head and fucking...
But did you recognise that?
My mum was an alcoholic.
No, but when he said that you're an alcoholic, did you recognise that in yourself?
No. Just thought I was a loon.
So is it denial?
I don't know how you would characterise it, but I wouldn't say it was wasn't denial, because I labelled it plain and simply as being a lunatic. That's it. Do you know what I mean? And I'd grown up with Alcoholics Anonymous from the age of 13. My mum used to bring them all back, like the old school AA people who had 20, 30 years under their belt. Minister John used to be like a freedom fighter. He used to drink a bottle of whiskey and kill people. Now he was a minister. Do you know what I mean? Greengrocer Jean and fucking Danbury Dave and all these mad Tobacco Mick. Who used to come round and I'd be like, who the fuck are these people? They used to come in after going to Good Maze on a Tuesday night. I used to run upstairs.
Don't forget Mad John.
Like, what's that?
Don't forget Mental John.
Mental John. So they were like lunatics to me, but they were sober. And that's the mad thing. It was like, I learned the Serenity Prayer. My mum put it in the toilet. God grant me serenity. I used to say it when we moved eventually and she got sober. But I never thought about it. Never thought about AA until it pushed me onto it basically broke me. When that day came that I was drinking alcohol, when it went into the black, opposed to the green and made me happy, my mum was the person I rang up. My mum said, you know where you got to go. My mum said, can you feel her arms around me? I'd borrowed someone's fucking phone round the pool because I had no money. Came back, gave it a week, thought, oh, fuck, I can do it. Yeah, fuck. I was drinking 6 to 8 litres of water a day because I thought I could flush it out. That's how I was. Like, this ain't working. I'm going to piss 100 times, but no, my brain ain't changing.
But you recognised that you were drinking a lot excessively, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't recognise that you could be an alcoholic.
No, or a drug addict. Even though I was doing it every night.
And what was your perception of what you thought an alcoholic or drug addict was back then?
I didn't know. I'd never listened to my mum. Going back to that thing we said earlier on, my mum had spoke about things and probably talked about things, everything else. It's like one of them things, like you only listen to what you want to hear. Listen to it. It goes in one ear and out the other. That was something they used to say when I was a kid. It goes in one ear, it goes out the fucking other. You ain't listening. Still the same now. If I don't like it, goes, what's that? Oh, you said it. I don't give a fuck. So I didn't pay it no attention. Do you know what I mean? I didn't pay attention. I'd seen my mum was an alcoholic. My auntie died of it, or whatever she died of in the end. She was a loon. My mum was a fucking loon. My mum was 27 years sober when she thingied. I need to get to that point where...
Nearly there, mate.
22.
Do you know what I think my perception, or what I think a lot of people's perception is of like alcoholic or drug addicts or whatever, is like, you know, like sitting on a park bench,
exactly.
wino,
or the heroin
and all
addict.
this, and like in a crack house. But what I realised was when I went to AA that it's so different. There's so many different walks of life, and it's
no
like
class, no age, no gender,
and the magic of what I discovered at AA was when like someone's speaking about their situation, and I'm like, oh, what did you just say? And it's like they're talking through my mouth. You know, they're talking about their life, and they're nothing like me. Could be like, you know, a bank manager or a librarian or whatever, and
guitar player.
Well, yeah, a musician like me.
Guitar player.
Yeah,
could be a guitar player.
And then like just listening to and thinking, I'm not just the only one that thinks like this, because it is an illness at the end of the day.
Yeah, look,
you know.
But there's also people that go to...
Are you telling Sean or is Sean telling you?
I'm therapying Sean as well.
there are people that go to AA and go for the first time and said, oh, I can't relate to them. I'm not like these people.
Oh, it was the first time.
And separate, right? Because like you said, the wino on the bench or the heroin addict in the doorway, people say, I can't be an alcoholic or I can't be a junkie because I'm not like them.
Well, you took me to a meeting. So one of my previous times before when I wanted to stop, and you said, I'll take you to a meeting. And I walked in now, and it was quite a deep one. There was some stories going around about like some deaths and stuff, and I literally was like, I shouldn't be in here. This ain't for me. I'm not these people. And that was exactly how I felt. But probably because I wasn't ready at that point. Because when I went back like 2 years ago, I welcomed it with open arms. I wanted the help. I wanted finally, like, you know, when I rung you, the first time I called you on, and I'll never forget, was I think you rung me back on a Sunday morning, and you was like, tell me your story. And I'd never really ever spoke to anyone about like this, because I never really thought that there was a problem. But I finally thought, I've got issues here. And that's the thing. And I finally wanted help. I wanted help. I'd never wanted help before. I always thought I could do it on my own.
But part of the addiction is ego, right? And superiority, and thinking that we are not the same as other people. Yeah. So sometimes until you get to that place of what I went through in my 40s was ego death, I just had to crush it and just leave it behind. And then
it's
my
hard.
life changed, my perception changed. For you, when did you recognise that you had a problem?
Probably, honestly, only when we spoke. Because I've always, with everything through my life, I've either washed it off like another week, get on with it, I'll forget about that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, I promise I won't do it again. But what finally started happening was it dawned on me two things. No matter what I do, I always end up back in the same place because my cycle, I'd stop for 3-4 months. I mean, I had a period where I don't think I drank for 3 months and I didn't touch drugs or coke, I should say, for 9 months. But then what would happen?
Still taking pills, though, aren't you?
What pills?
You taking pills?
No.
Like Bumbles?
Oh no, that's even funny. So what I decided, I'd stop coke. This is a period of this is another one of my mad moments, and I thought I'll do pills instead. So then what I started doing, I got myself in more bother with the pills. But then what I do is when I've had too many pills, I think, I'm too mashed up. I need some gear. Just fucking mate. So then I'm going, I love you. Out the window, look out and that. But yeah, that was the thing. So I realised my cycle was drink, drugs. And then it was just like this, and it would always end up back with, eventually, where I didn't want to go to bed and I'm like a lunatic, I'd be drinking bottles of vodka or gin or whatever I could get my hands on, then complete carnage. And that would be when I'd be causing aggro mentally, not physically, but like, causing all these, using this to hurt people and do all the mad things. And then the big one was, I think I finally realised that I had some issues that I've never addressed, like mental problems of anger, tolerance levels, all these things that basically I'd done for my whole adult life.
Anger was a big issue,
massively. Right? Anger for me was the one, and it was just the way I reacted to any situation. I just couldn't work out why I couldn't just. Like, if someone, a massive thing for me, with my ADHD, one of my main problems is if a situation doesn't go exactly how I think it's going to go in my head, it really throws me. And that was a big thing. One of the big things we spoke about is that you can't control what anyone else does apart from what you do. But if I want you to go over there and pick that plant up and do it a dance and you don't, or something a little bit more like, say I wanted Jade to take me out. Say I said, Jade, I wanted to go out to this restaurant. Or in my head, I hadn't even told her. That's the thing. I never used to tell anyone. It was just in here. And then if it doesn't go exactly how I want it, what do? I kick off. So I go moody and I go this and I go that. And you've pointed this out to me and it's like, well, you're letting that person know you're not happy.
Yeah,
you're not communicating. And this was the massivest thing Jade taught me, communication, because before I got with her, I was a closed book, and it was like, and that's how I react. Well, you all right? No, not really. I wouldn't tell you why, but I'm pissed off about something, so I do it in my way, which is like mental. I say something wrong, or I'll just be moody. Jay's like, what's the matter, babe? Tell me, talk to me, communicate with me. And I still really struggled with it, and it still wasn't great, but it got better. And then after we've done what we've done, I'm still bad. Sometimes I still do it. I think I rung you up a while ago and said, I've been really moody. He's like, yeah, but you're telling me you are, but you're not doing anything about it.
You're yourself up.
But look, it's the challenge as well for men as well, right? Especially middle-aged men. We talk about ego, right? We find it very hard to express how we feel. And that's one of the things that women want, communication, want clarity, and they want to know exactly what's going on inside, because with men with that ego, we kind of keep it all inside our man cave. We try to work out the problem ourselves. The problem with that is that when we don't share how we feel, talk to our friends or partners, you go into the spiral of doom, which then leads on to suicidal ideation, and then it goes worse from that. The rates of suicide for men in that age bracket is so high. I do a lot of Samaritan's work, and it's a lot to do with they cannot cope with the world they're in because it's something that they can't deal with, and they don't know how to express it or work their way through it.
I've had it. I had periods where I was so depressed. And one time I remember everyone rallied around me because I was just awful, and they're going to me, Andy, like, like, why are you so like, you know, you've got like, look at what you've got this, you've got a lovely girlfriend, you got a great like clockwork, and it wasn't enough for me. And I wouldn't say I was like getting the ropes out or anything, but I've thought about stuff.
Yeah, look, the reason
You know
why
what I mean?
we...
And I didn't speak to anyone about it.
No, but then you're suffering inside, right? And we talk about, like, what is it? The reason why we want more is because we want to feel more. And the reason why we want to feel more is because inside we believe we're less in some way. There's a kind of void that we don't feel like we're good enough, we're worthy, we're as good as anyone else, we're successful or popular. So we are seeking all the time validation. We want more and more, which causes unhappiness, but then leads onto the behaviours. For you, where would you say your darkest moment was?
It's been a few, I think.
Like, did you ever contemplate suicide? Was there any thoughts?
Oh, I heard the voices. I've had the psychosis. I've seen the people who've been there in the fucking room talking to the devil, shit like that. Just me and the fucking devil in the room talking in tongues. When I think it was the last time we done it was the year that we lost Clockwork, and I worked really hard. It just fucking broke me, and I come back, and my mum said to me, sitting in the garden, she said, this is when I didn't realise, but I'd gone through a breakdown. Like, I tried to push it so hard. I think it was the first year we lost Clockwork. It was 2001.
What year was when you
2000
when you smashed the van up?
Oh, 99. That was.
But you was
I was off the wall, but I weren't in the dark zone. I was loving it.
No, but you was like.
Yeah, it was darkness, but it was fun dark. If that's the thing.
I'm sure it was fun.
Everything used to be fun mad until
dark light.
Yeah. But it went, and then when I come home and I had that breakdown, and my mum said, I was sitting in her garden, she said, I could just see a fucking crack through you. Because she'd done healing on me once. So I knew that all those things she talked about, and I started to get to know a bit about my mum. But I think it's, fucking hell, there's been some dark times. But then when we done that, when I come home from Ibiza, and I was going through all that shit of like what was going on, because I pushed so hard to make it work, and it just weren't going to work.
But it's probably then, like what I said earlier, it's probably the realisation that it's actually coming to an end, because we knew it was coming, and you've probably thought like the same. I was thinking, like, what the fuck am I going to do? You know, it was going, wasn't it? It wasn't. Wow.
The thing is coming to an end. Is I put my heart and soul into it. My heart and soul into it. So it was one of those things. Like, moreover, like, how dare you not fucking work? I was even picking DJs up from the airport. I couldn't stand him. This little fucking geezer called Corvin Dalek, and I fucking hated him. I wanted to kill him.
I was worried that he's going to put one of the ones.
No. This fucking geezer, and he was moaning about this thing, and I'm living in this shit fucking gaff. To give him this beautiful place, he went, but there's the sunlight comes out in the morning. I was like, yeah, but you got a swimming pool and it's beautiful. He's like, I was like, I wanted to bang his head on the floor. And it all went wrong. And my mum said about that crack. And I remember being at Liverpool Street Station. Please stand back from the thing. There's a few food trains coming through. And as it was coming along, and I remember this voice in my head going, just walk towards the fucking platform. Just go. And I walked towards the edge. And as it went past and all the air and all that, I went, what the fuck's going on there? Did I drink I never drank to try and kill myself. That's what he did. I drank to try and knock myself out. I tried to do more and more drugs to see how far I could push it. A gram in one, fucking however much in the fucking one. And sit there and then black out and go on my own. Go, what the fuck's going on here?
What was the intention?
It's escape, isn't it? It's to be numb.
Yeah, but escape from what?
Comfortably numb. Well, the stuff that I never knew that I was running from. That's
because sometimes when I work with people who want to escape, it's like, to say you want to escape suggests that you feel trapped in some way.
Yeah, but you don't know, do you? Until you actually
unless you're in your own mind, right?
And unless you actually find out about it. Because I pushed it away as a kid.
What pain were you numbing?
All the stuff that I found out about when I got into AA, and then later on in life that you do, like discovering everything else, the trauma and fucking God knows what's, and like those irrational fears that are brought up by everything you experienced in your childhood. Do you know what I mean? Mum not there, like, you know, I used to go, it never bothered me that I didn't have a dad. Would have been fucking nice to have had a dad, been brought up in a normal fucking way, probably. Food on the table, structure, all that shit.
But that's conscious, right? But as a young child, you know, to know that your dad is unavailable for whatever reason, sometimes physically unavailable, but also emotionally unavailable, you start to question yourself as a child, we're egocentric, and we talk about, it's all about me. So why is my dad not here? It's because he doesn't care about me.
No, I never went into that.
You didn't feel about he didn't care about me?
No, I never went into that because he was gone when I was a baby.
I understand. But the fact is, he wasn't there for you.
So it became almost normality. Later on in life, you see someone who's got a dad and they support them and everything else like that, or the loving dads of other children was like you see how they were nice people. People over the road were nice, but now I never missed that. It's just all the shit that you probably grew up with that I found out. Like you
can't miss something that you didn't know. I grew up with no dad as well.
Yeah,
but it's a case of even
when I met him, he was a twat.
Yeah,
he was a fucking twat when I met him when I was 16.
Did I give you some peace?
But no, not really, because I met him and he kept talking to my mum, going, "Should we go down the pub?" And my mum went, "I don't drink." He went, "Come, we go down the pub." She went, "I don't fucking drink." And he went, he was saying, she went, "That's your son. You haven't seen him for 16 years." And I thought, this guy's just a knob. I'm going to go ice skating, because I used to go ice skating every night with my mates. I went ice skating, and then he rang me up when I was working around the corner from here. Should we have lunch? And I swear to this day that I paid for the lunch, as we was talking about earlier on, with luncheon vouchers. But he gave me his address in New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, wrote it down and his telephone number, and I put it in a box. And when I moved from the fucking mad flat that I used to live in when I got sober, I was looking for all loads of mad shit, and I went, I don't need this. I just cut it up. It's only when, like what you watch on these long lost families, when the mum dies, I'm going to contact the dad. Tried to contact him, and I couldn't get nowhere. And I thought, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? Fuck it. Bit of nice for him to know that he's got a granddaughter, and if he had an house, I'd take all his money.
Yeah, nice.
That's the truth, isn't it?
Win-win.
I don't know him. I'll have your house and all your property. But I never missed that. But it's probably... See, put it this way. As a kid, what I said to you about your mum not coming home, or your mum blind drunk on the floor.
Uncertainty.
Bottles and I always remember my mum being stone cut out, drunk on her bed, and her key, she'd put the key underneath her mattress, and her face would be here, and I'd be like that in front of her face. I'd be my hand underneath the bed, like that. I got the fucking key. And I'd be 6 or 7, and I'd go out for 12 hours. Couldn't fire me. The food thing, the fucking arguments with the neighbours my mum used to have, all the different men she used to have back, and the noises in the night. As a baby, as a child, hearing that shit, do you know what I mean? That you shouldn't be hearing, shouldn't be experiencing. And I've talked about this a few times. I saved up when I was about 9 or 10. Saved up. So you're still a fucking kid, aren't you? Before you go to high school, into the big league. And I saved up to borrow a Lionel Richie album or 12-inch or 7-inch. When I woke up in the morning, it's covered in blood. It was all cut up with a fucking Stanley knife. Where in her blackout, she's just fucking carved it all up and carved herself and all that. And I remember standing there, just looking at it, just baffled. Do you know what I mean? Just what the fuck's gone on here? What is that? Do you know what I mean? And the emotional blackmail and fucking shit that you go... So that's all suppressed. You don't understand it. And then as you get older... And then don't get me wrong, when we started doing parties, fucking that elation, he's behind the decks. I've got this fucking tambourine, do you know what I mean? I'm banging it to make as much noise. I'm pressing all these buttons, I don't know the lights. He's DJing, he's fucking giving... I'm going, I'm whistling.
Well, do you remember when...
That was our buzz.
We did, when we had Jeremy Healy, and he did all night, didn't he? Pretty much, remember?
In 98 he did,
so we broke the record. I think the record was it 3-6? Anyway, we broke the record that night. Busiest night they've ever had in the club. Anyway, so he's DJing, at the time he was Mix Mag, or DJ Mag, #1 DJ in the world. We've just about finally got him, been trying to get him for years. And he dropped, he used to play Michael Jackson anyway. He's played Mama Say, Mama Say, Mama. Anyway, dropped that, Want to Be Starting Something. Anyway, me and him stand in the box. The water's come on into the middle of the club, the place, and we're just fucking hell. It's just this is what we do it for. And that is a drug. I don't care what you say.
It's a buzz. It's a buzz.
Look,
success, isn't
money
it?
aside,
it's like a pinnacle, right, of
money
success.
aside, and making money out of what we do, when I go and look at what we create, that's worth more than anything. To see that all those people and what we call it creating magic. But when you look at, and you get people come up to you and say, "You've changed my life," this is and it is a really beautiful feeling inside.
It is something quite special.
When we do them festivals and we're looking, I'm going, we've created this. look at this. Look at all these. And like, I'll be for this year, I don't think I've ever seen so many smiles and happy faces. I mean, it's the same every year, of course, but this year, I was looking around and like, I'm sober now. I'm looking at everyone going, look at these people. They're just so happy. Job done.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about being sober. How's it feel to you? What does that mean to you?
Oh, I was on it for. What do you mean, being sober or sober in parties?
Sober now.
Being sober is like normal. I'm almost longer sober than I was drinking. That's what I love.
Mad.
And when was that moment when because you went to meetings, right? So explain your first experience in AA.
First one I did like. I looked for the differences, not the similarities. Come out of there. Insane. I was wearing an old Prada suit, Prada belt, Prada shirt, Prada shoes, looking down on everyone.
Are you dressed up?
I'm fucking skint. I'm skint. I'm with my mum. I was in a stolen van, right? It should have been crushed. My boss didn't know I had it, so I nicked it from work. Had no wing mirrors. The gear stick was a bit of metal, and it had been condemned. I'm driving it, and my mum, the way I'm driving erratic after the meeting, she's fucking crying. She's like, let me out. I was like, the chat, fucking, I was just gone. I went to my second meeting and everything clicked into place. I got there late. I was on the phone to my mum. I went, you fucking told me that the fucking meeting was, as I've gone like that. Like 30 people in this room for this little hole like that, all just looking at me. I went, I'm going to call you back. Put the phone down, and this geezer called Farmer Dave. I loved this geezer. He was mad. And he put him in like that. He was sitting on this chair and he's looking, this old leather chair with holes in it and all the stuffing hanging out. I'm sitting there. Right, have a cup of tea? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, have a cup of tea, sitting there. The geezer went, yeah. And then my drinking went skiing and we used to go down the mountain on the tables and we broke all these things up and made them into sledges. I went, hold on a minute. I fucking like this. This geezer went this thing, and then this geezer in the corner, he was a born-again Christian, and he said, my mum rang me the other day, and she said, she went, son, that God of yours gets right up my nose. He went, Mum, I put many things up my nose. He said, and if it's God you're using, he went, that's a positive. I went, all of a sudden the lights went off. I went, these are my people. He's mental. This Farmer Dave would like start saying things, and I listened to him because he knew alcoholism. He knew it. And I wanted to tell you this actually. So after 2 or 3 meetings, I listened to this Farmer Dave. I started getting into AA, and I said to him, "Can I have your number? Will you be my sponsor?" I said to him, "Can you be my sponsor?" He said, "I won't be your sponsor, but you can ring me." I went, "All right, cool." So in early sobriety, I rang him, and I didn't understand it at the time. I rang him and went, "Dave, so I'm having a fucking shit day." He went, "No, are you?" He said, "How's that then?" I said, and he went, "Can I just stop you before I went to say something?" And he went, "Have you had a drink?" And I went, "Nah." He went, "Well, it ain't no fucking bad. Put the phone down. Put the phone down on me." And I went, "You cheeky old." I went, he's quite right. I said, as long as I don't have a drink, the rest of it is manageable. And for 8 years, I went to retreats, seminars. I was secretary. I made teas. I swept the fucking cigarette butts up. I've done all the things that you're supposed to do, fucking meetings, blah, blah, blah. And after 8 years, the truth is, whereas before I went in feeling bad and come out feeling good, I felt normal. And then when I went to meetings, I went to about 3 meetings on the bounce. I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. It was like the same as when it changed before, where alcohol would change on me. It changed on me, and I went, I'm not going to go anymore. And if Andy or any of my friends or anybody wanted to go to a meeting, I'd take them, but I've had no, I've got to go to a meeting. I haven't done it for 14 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, 14 years, yeah. I've been to a few. I went to one a couple of weeks ago. Someone wanted to go to a CA meeting. So I took them to a CA meeting. But, yeah, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. AA, what Andy was saying is when, what for me, the biggest, it's called it a catalyst or whatever, it's when you sit in a room and they say, the room's open now, or the floor's open for sharing. Please come back and share with so-and-so as you blah, 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 blah. When you find that courage to share, and you think it's like you know the Orlicks advert when they take the lid off. Remember that one? You just go. Yeah. That's how it used to be.
But to be fair, I found it almost become a little bit of an addiction in itself. I used to look forward to going because I did used to what I used to look forward to was the feeling when you come out.
Yeah.
Because you do walk out of there.
You shared your pain.
Feeling
But it's
like
community as well,
euphoric a little bit. Like you feel good. You know
Not
what I mean?
community. What's that word? What's that word when you're all sharing in a group? What's that?
It's like embodiment. You're like
No, you're being posh.
You're
What's that
sharing.
word?
You're sharing and
You're being too
connecting.
posh. What do you mean embodiment? It's all a dictionary.
But you have a common ground,
Not
right?
cathartic. There's another word.
Cathartic.
Cathartic.
That's a bad word,
I
isn't
know,
it?
no. Cathartic's good, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's good.
It doesn't mean killing someone.
But I never went into the meetings as such. But I have been to the rooms with people
I'm thinking of that word now.
to support them, and from my observation as a therapist,
Therapeutic.
from my work as a therapist, I sit at the back of the room and I observe. And one thing I notice is that, and it dawned on me through one of these sessions, I can see people tapping their foot, someone's holding onto the vape, someone's like scratching around and stimming in one way or another. And I was thinking,
That's me.
these people are mentally unwell, right? And I don't think there's enough emphasis and connection to the mental unwellness, to the addiction itself, because it's so evident. It's so evident, and I sit in the rooms and I listen to the stories with compassion. But from my experience, I don't think there's enough discussion or work done in the rooms to do with mental health and so on. Because for me, the way in which I work is about looking forward to this promising future and to move away from the past. So for me, when I see people who have been sober for 25, 30 years, and they stand up in the room and say, my name's Dave and I'm an alcoholic, for me, it's like when you label yourself, you limit yourself. And for me, when people are still saying that 25 years later, they haven't had a drink, their lifestyle has changed, circumstances have changed, everything's looking good for them, and they're still using this term.
But are you recovered or are you always recovering?
Well, this is the thing, right? So some people say to me,
I'm always recovering, mate.
yeah, because sometimes when I work with some people, I say it's the fear. The fear is if I make that one mistake, I'm back to the beginning, like snakes and ladders, right?
Let's go back to ego recovering.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm submitting and saying that I don't know fuck all. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, but if I speak to someone who hasn't drunk for 30 years and their life was a complete shit show when in their 20s, they're now professional, they've had loads of therapy, loads of treatment, they haven't drunk for 30 years. And I'm saying, how do you know right now that you are still an alcoholic? How do you know? I'm not testing them or pushing them. But for me, I would rather...
Should we get him on a trumpet? Get him on a trumpet, see what happens.
But I would rather...
Which is, we will sit here and not speak.
But I would rather say...
love to fucking start biting people.
Well,
Trust me.
don't. We'll have a night of total
A proper
bullshit
mental
talk.
blowout, but then you take a tablet and forget all about it.
I'll
And wake
find
up.
out.
You wouldn't? Did you used to speak on it, or you was quite quiet?
I never spoke on bugle.
No, so that's what I'm saying.
But the point is that for me, I'd rather have someone say, today I am sober and I intend to remain sober for the rest of my life or for the foreseeable future, because you're talking about your life today in the present and moving forward to how you want to live your life.
Yeah.
So it's the way people see themselves and see the struggles they've had, and do they want to let go of it? Do they want to sever it? Or do they still want to bring it with them?
Respect, I'd say it was. Respect to alcohol. Because that one drink will fuck your life up.
Of course.
That one line will fuck your life up. So
Yeah.
it's saying, I always say, I'm recovering. Because I'm always learning. We're always learning. It's almost like saying, I'm always learning.
Yeah.
My mum used to say, I'm recovered. She would
Yeah.
go, you ain't fucking recovered. You're mad as a box of frogs.
Yeah.
And then we used to challenge each other. And she'd go, yeah. And I go, no, you ain't. You're fucking mental. But there you go, mental John, mental mother. Mental everywhere. You're not allowed to say it. I'll probably ban this podcast. What is it now? Socially unwell? For fuck's sake. And then, but it's respect to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always know that if I could, it's a can of Budweiser. Could be a can of Budweiser, or just you think about what we used to have, like 1,000 shots in a night. Could be one Jägermeister. I get the flavour. The devil comes out. I can hear him. I can feel him. He's like, I go and burn something. I do this.
I don't think, like, since I've had, like, the therapy I've had, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it wasn't easy. I did have really dark moments of, like, struggling, you know, and it was more around the personal, like, you know, it wasn't so much the clockwork. Clockwork's always been quite easy. I think you just look at everyone and that, but it was like my parents being up and, like, Jade, like, meals, and I did find, like it was hard, you know, like when we had people around, like, to have a party at my summer house. That was my summer house, you know, my decks, and I was like, I fucking can't handle this, got to get out of here. But it it has got better. I mean, but the main thing, instead of had the therapy, I don't really feel like I want to have a drink. I mean, I've got to that point with it now where I don't really even see alcohol. Did you find that? Mm-hmm. Like, I can be in front of it, but I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I like that, yeah.
But then we spoke about, remember the conversation about the 0 beers?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we've had that conversation.
Well, this...
Yeah, so we talk about cross-addiction and being unable to let go of the whole label of alcohol and the association to friendship and community and the social aspect, you know.
So let me tell him the story. So basically I went to this place and it was my birthday and I wanted to have a pint of 0 Heineken and it weren't working. So I kicked my toys out of my pram, got the started kicking off. So next thing I'm fucked off with Jade, having to go at her. I had to ring him up. Oh, Sean, I'm fucking up. He went, just drink a glass of water, mate. Like what you've always said to me.
No, Coca-Cola, I would have said.
Yeah, or now, the new thing, a new addiction, Monsters.
Oh,
right, yeah. Well, look,
only on Clockwork, though.
Oh, mate, honestly.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we'll go have a little one.
No, but what I'm saying is caffeine is prominent in your life. Remember that time when you said to me, I don't think I've got caffeine addiction?
Yeah,
I said to him, let's just test it. Let's just do 1 day with no caffeine.
Felt like
and what
someone
happened?
You said to me.
I did a day. It felt like someone had hit me over the head with a sledgehammer. I've never had a headache like it in my life.
The messages I was getting, what the fuck have you done to me? My head's blowing up.
He'll tell you the story one day.
And Jade was like, just have a fucking coffee. I can't take this no more. I was like...
But look, this is the thing, right? When we talk about substance use and addictions, a number of years ago, I was running an addiction recovery workshop and there was this old South London gangster talking about, you know, mental health and mental wellness. And he was saying about, do you know what a fruitcake is? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, a fucking fruitcake, sponge, raisins, you know, it's got a bit of brandy in it. I said, yeah. He said, well, when you take the brandy out the fruitcake, you're still a fucking fruitcake, you know? And he was laughing about it. And it's true because when we take the alcoholism away from it, then what's underneath? Because there's always a reason why we're drinking and using, because we're trying to move away from that kind of pain or the traumas we talk about, or feeling alone, upset, bored, sad, whatever it's going to be. So I always say that the addiction is not the problem. The addiction is trying to solve the problem of something deeper rooted inside, and we need to go into that. And like we worked with you with like the anger issues, for example, understanding that. We talk about our emotional dysregulation.
It's about your phones.
Oh, mate.
He used to go out and break his phone. I'd be watching him and he'd go...
No, I'd throw him out the window.
Yeah. Oh, now I need a new phone. I'd be frustrated.
I mean, like, you don't even know the half of it with my anger. I mean, I know you do, but I mean, I was like out of control anger. I mean, I remember I had a phone once, and this back in the old days with Orange, where you basically, if you broke your phone, they'd give you a new one. I literally get out of the car and I throw it on the floor and smash it. It's about 1,000 pieces, and really so I broke my phone. But it was just, it was outrageous behaviour.
Yeah, but I remember saying to you, anger is an expression of hurt, right? So what it means is that something's just happened. Someone said or done something.
No, it was because my phone didn't work properly.
Yeah, but what I mean is something's happened that's upset you. You feel like not important, disrespected, no one cares about you. So it's this non-verbal communication, say, I can't cope, this is how I'm going to express myself.
Yeah.
So you go back to being that silverback and show it and displaying it.
Which is like the similar thing about what you said, like where I'm not happy about something, rather than say, I'm not happy because you've done this, I'll just go, whoop, and throw my toys out my pram and act moody.
Turn to that geezer then. What's his name? Chunky. What's his name?
Charlie Chuck.
Charlie Chuck.
No, Uncle Peter, wasn't it, out of Reeves and Mortimer.
So cross-addiction now for you. Where have you moved to? You spoke about running.
Oh, no, that was back in that was when he was just before you went sober, wasn't it? But he started running. This would make me laugh, and he literally turned into Forrest Gump. He used to run everywhere. It was like, man.
You know why I run everywhere? It's because someone stole the bike that I was riding.
Hey, but you did. You used to run everywhere.
Yeah. Used to run to my mum's and in fucking Chigwell from Romford.
Used to run to work in the morning, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, run thingy. But now...
So what's in your life now?
Nothing. My life has changed. I split up with the ex. We're still good friends. Still good with my daughter. I bought when I decided to leave. I said I went to look at something. I met this guy at this bungalow. It was an absolute piece of shit. He wanted $2,500. And our friend Mickey, he said, "Why did you buy Winnebago?" And I'm impulsive. I went, "Yeah,
fuck it."
No, I just went, "Yeah." I went to Gatwick, looked at these Winnebagos, looked at them all, and they all had ceilings like fucking there. And I thought, I could live in that. That'd be all right. Honestly, I was like, I could get away with that. last time I walked in, ceiling's here, and it's curved. I went, I'll have it. And the geezer went, what? He went, I'll have it. I went, I'll give you so-and-so. He went, no. I went, all right, boom, and we're done the deal. Hardest thing I ever fucking did. Hardest thing. Because they're American. No one knows nothing about them. No one wants to touch them. I had no contacts. It's like doing parties all over again, but still trying to compete in a weird sense with other people. In the end, I found the contacts. It broke down. I had to have it towed away by the biggest recovery truck in the world you've ever seen. And now my life is classical music, vinyl, CDs, me, no drinking, trying to limit the coffees like him. I'm a bit thingy. Now the new thing is anyway, but yeah, just my life's completely changed. Life's completely changed from who I was to what I am now.
You found the peace.
Yeah, I totally found the peace.
Nice.
I do yoga. Do you know what I mean? I've had I'll tell you this is funny. Like 53 years of age. I've had bad backs all my life. The ex did say to me, why don't you use a foam roller? Tried it for like 30 seconds, but they're shit. They're no good. Now, I was having 1 or 2 massages a week because of my back and because of my legs. Now I do the roller, I feel normal. I'm like, take me until the age of 53 to find this. But my life's simple.
Yeah.
My life's simple. Simple things.
Right, where do we start?
The short version.
What do you want?
Where your life is now.
Oh, did you not want my
What are cross addictions?
my cross addictions?
Come on in.
Ben and Jerry's,
Yep.
caffeine,
Wigs. Tell them about the wigs.
cigarettes. One of my major things now is fishing. That is a bad addiction.
But that's good though.
Oh no, it's good, but I mean it's a good one. But so I go with my mate. Can I tell you the name? I want to do you know, like they do these fly on the wall fishing things. So I've come up with a really, really cool name for my fishing show. It's going to be called White Lines to Tight Lines. It's good, isn't it? Isn't it? What do you think?
Very good.
Obviously playing the guitar, which I'm really good at. So
But again, it's soothing,
and
right?
music,
Therapeutic.
yeah, music,
Excellent,
family, kids,
You've always been family
stepson.
though.
I've always been family.
He's always
yeah.
been family. He's always been
Yeah.
family. Always includes his kids.
Just like, you know, living like now, I live in Warwickshire now, Birmingham way. So we're moving now to, we bought a new house out right in the country. So I've kind of got my finally, which was going to be, always wanted fields in the back of my garden, and finally think we're going to.
It's all about, what I've learned about is balance. You know, my life, like it's just up and down, right?
Balance.
It's like this, right?
Anyone that likes Ben and Jerry's though, peanut butter cup is the one. Guys,
to understand addictions and for me, dependency, I had to kind of eliminate stuff. A bit like what you're saying. I've just slowed everything down. No gluten, no dairy, no alcohol, no caffeine, no sugar. As my wife says,
This is you?
Yeah, my wife says no fun, no life. You know, but it
I
keeps
do all them things as well.
It keeps me calm, and I find some balance. And especially at this stage in our lives, we just need to slow down.
Yeah, I know.
That's something I'd say that on here. Sorry to interrupt you and to jump in. Is that you go, oh fucking hell, I don't feel well. Oh, I'm eating this and both. Get a test. The amount of people get a test, get the intolerance test.
100%.
I turned into one of them idiots. I used to call them idiots. I was gluten intolerant. I was fucking lactose intolerant. So I couldn't eat chocolate, cakes, bread. Once I did, I started to feel different.
Yeah.
I always used to feel like shit all the time.
Yeah, but that's to do with, you know,
Awareness.
with ADHD, for example, we've got more of a leaky
Don't
gut.
believe in it. I don't even know what you're
No,
talking
but I'm
about.
just saying for us, not for you. But with a leaky gut, we allow the dairy and gluten to go into our brain, which produces glutamorphines, which damages the way we function and behave. So your diet has a direct impact on how you function and your emotions and your behaviours. Well, look, that was a very interesting conversation.
How long was that? 6 hours?
We got through it.
How long was that, mate?
Well, look,
12 hours, 15 minutes.
Wow.
That's right.
Bloody hell.
They weren't that bad for that long.
very good. You sailed through it. So well done. Let's,
You two with your ADHD and me fucking not.
and you're not.
People who probably know what ADHD is probably watching this going, shit.
Look, he's Mr. Classic ADHD, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, look, thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Been
Until
good.
next
Loved
time.
it.
Nice one, brother.